Hi, this is Dawn Olszewski of DOstampingWithDawn.com, and I'm here with another How'd She Do That video. And today we're going to do stamping with our Texture Impressions embossing folder. Now, typically when you're doing embossing, you're just getting that raised edge, but this time what we're going to do is, we're going to get that raised edge, but we're also going to stamp right on our folder. So now some of you may recognize this folder. It's called the Woodland folder. It's right here. And Stampin' Up! Announced earlier that it was retiring from their 2015 holiday catalog and has since sold out. Now, this has been such an exciting product that they have heard from us and we want it back. And guess what? Stampin' Up! Is going to bring it back. Now, it's going to be a little while, but you'll want to add it to your wish list so that you can order it on a sneak peek in May of 2016. It will be in our next annual catalog, which typically comes out June. So watch for that. But in the meantime, let's get started. Here are the supplies that you're going to need. And I'm going to use the Wonderland stamp set. This is from Stampin' Up's 2015 holiday catalog, which ends January 4th, 2016. Now, if you want this, be sure to get it before December 28th. That's when Stampin' Up! Will stop manufacturing the stamp sets from that catalog. So get this on your wish list right away. The next thing is the two ink pads that I'm going to use is Night of Navy and Soft Suede, and a piece of Crumb Cake cardstock. This measures 3 3/4 by 5 inches. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about the embossing folder. So this is the front where it says Sizzix here, and then you're going to open it up and we're going to stamp on this top piece. Now, what you want to do is, well, let's talk a little bit about some variations on this. So when I first started seeing these, this has been around for probably a couple months now, and most people are taking the ink pads, open them up, and then swiping them across. Now, that is a very cool look, but for me, I was having a little bit of trouble with kind of like the pressure that I would put and whether my ink pads were juicy or not. I got lots of different looks, so I wasn't really happy with that, especially when I was going to teach it for a class. So instead, I decided to give sponges a try, and I was really happy with those results. So that's what I'm going to show you today. So I'm starting with the soft suede, and I'm going to swipe that. Let me show you in these what I call the flat areas, the in between the trees. And I'm just going to run it down each of those areas. And depending on the look you're going for, you can try different things. You want a lot of ink in there or just want a little. I think what we'll do is we'll really ink it up this time so I can show you. I'm kind of a Goldilocks gal. I'm somewhere in the middle. Okay, so there we go. Now, for the blue, what I did is I just wanted to kind of hit the trees, these little kind of hash lines in the trees. I wanted to make sure they stood out a little bit more. So I took my sponge, oops, I got really heavy-handed at the top. So this is why I was having trouble with the other method, is this is probably a pretty juicy pad. So now when I go to do this, I just want to I'm barely touching it because I have such an inky sponge here. From my pad. There we go. Okay, so maybe just a little bit more on that one. Alrighty, I'll set that aside. Then, we got to do our stamping next. So I got out that tree image. You can see mine has been really loved a lot. And I'm going to actually ink it upside down. That way I can see it. And I know my pad is really juicy, so I don't need to ink it up too much. We're going to stamp this 3 times. There's one. Ooh, nice and dark. Love that. That's because my pad is nice and fresh. So you may not get such a dark image, which means you may want to re-ink your pad. So notice how I moved one up slightly, and then I'm going to move this one back down. All right, there we go. There, this is gonna look gorgeous. These are nice and nice deep color on that Night of Navy. So I'm gonna go ahead and press this down. Okay, and then push that, and then I'm gonna run it through the Big Shot. Pull all this apart. And open this up. Ooh, look at that. That looks great. Doesn't that turn out nice? See how those other trees are kind of peeking behind that? It's kind of like a masking technique, all done for you due to the folder. Now you might be asking, how do I clean this, Dawn? It is so easy. Literally, I just ran it under water. I didn't even use soap. It all just washed away. So super easy cleanup as well. So I have ready here the Snowflake Element that I've added a piece of the gold cording trim. I love this cording trim, and it is retiring too. I actually stocked up on a few rolls because I think it's going to be awesome for my Christmas packaging. So that is ready to go. I've stamped the Silent Night. That is from the same set, and this is 3/4 inch. And what I'm doing is I want to adhere it to this left edge here. I'm actually going to cut this off. I cut it a little bit larger because I'd rather trim it than have it not fit quite right. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And I'm using fast fuse. I like to use the fast fuse when I'm doing the texture. It just it gives me a little more grip, if you want to call it. And it's a little crooked, but that's all right. Okay, so next, let's find the scissors here, and we'll just trim that off. There we go. And then what I'm going to do here, get the rest of it here. And fast fuse, like I say, is great for that texture pieces. I love to use that. Go ahead and add that. And this was Night of Navy, and this is 5 1/4, excuse me, 4 inches this way and 5 1/4 inch that way. And then we'll add it to, this is a folded 8.5 by 5.5 inch Crumb Cake base. And we're almost done here. Get out your glue dots, and we'll add these. Now, be just a little careful. Don't press too hard when you're putting your glue dots on, and then when you add it to the card. This might be a card that you hand deliver. And voila, you're done. Isn't that cute? So much fun. I'm going to show you some of my samples that didn't kind of make the grade here, but I like the concept of them. So this was that technique where it was the actual like direct to the texture folder with the ink pad, and I kind of like that kind of shadowy, smeary sort of look to it. But like I said, I was having some trouble controlling it, and then I was having a little bit of trouble with the images too. This is from the guide Greetings, and here's another one. I was a little more heavy-handed here. But this was my favorite, and actually I have to show you this first because this is where I came in with my sponging, and I tried to do that. And this is on Very Vanilla. And then I stamped, this is the Wilderness Awaits. This is a great guy stamp. If you're looking for masculine ideas, this is a good one to use. So I stamped the elk, and his head was like behind the trees, and I'm like, well, that's not exactly what I wanted. So be careful when you want something. This is a way that you'll learn how to position. So I wanted his head more here, so I was a little more careful to make sure his head got stamped so I could see that. Isn't that great? I love that. So I think there are some other stamps that you might find that would work well for this this stamping technique as well. So I hope you enjoyed that. Be sure to stop by my blog at DOstampingWithDawn.com for lots more creative ideas and inspiration. Thank you.